I don't chop them up.
Oh, cool.
So
let's get it done.
So it's all good.
All right.
All right, so here we are, episode 24 with JT Peterson of Rip Body Fitness.
Great. Thank you.
Man, thank you.
Looking forward to it.
All right. So I've got this, here's like my foundation element that I'm coming to this with. Ego and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see is your passion is the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you see your passion through the eyes of spirit, your spirit?
I just listen to my spirit. So my body is my tool. My body is my mechanism to communicate with you, with everyone. And so I believe it's my job to make my body the best that I can make it for myself to feel good, whatever that means to me. So if I'm able to feel good and how I want to feel, and when I, take my clothes off, I look a certain way, because that's important to me or because I want to, And so, that being said, I think that if you can break through a lot of the challenges to allow your spirit to really live, because that's what energizes and makes the body move is the spirit, right? Obviously, our souls. So if we didn't have that, people, you know what I mean? So it's our job, I think, to make sure that we fulfill whatever our main purpose is, to work on ourselves first. And to, really just like have no ego, and really don't, it's not about being better than the next person, at least for us. It's not about being better than the next person. It's all about, man, I hope I can inspire this person. Because, growing up in a household full of guys, we were just talking about this, there's always arguing, there's always fighting, 3 brothers, and there's a lot of ego in there. And so I think over time, that's hard to break through. That's hard to break through. You're growing up all the time and you're fighting all the time. And then you're playing football, us playing football, like basketball, baseball, constantly competing and constantly going against the next guy. So the ego was up the whole time. I think just like really focusing on living your spirit with other people is very crucial, very important. Like really appreciating this time right now with each other is very crucial. More important than anything else that can happen right now. Because you're the most important person right now, and vice versa. And so through that, I'm able to really see and really feel you, and through that, I hope to help you in any way possible, and vice versa. I soak in. Maybe there is a lot of great information that I can learn or I can apply today. We have good talks all the time that allow me to, and you challenge me sometimes. And I like that. I like you're just straightforward sometimes. You're like, hey, you know what? I think we should do this, or I think you guys should do this, or stick it out with that, and it's like, you don't really want to hear it because it's like, you're thinking in your head, like, should I do this or should I not do this with, whatever it may be. And, it turns out like you're always that person to, push through in that direction, and it's vice versa when we're saying push through, finish out this workout strong, because that's what's needed at that time. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but
It does, because what I'm hearing is the body isn't alive by itself. It's alive because of the spirit inside it. So when you're working out, your spirit is working out. The body's just the tool the spirit's using in that moment.
It takes a certain level of understanding and awareness to understand that, because I could understand that, but I wouldn't fully be able to comprehend to see the world through that way. So the body, I believe the body is, it's here for us right now, and we are spirits, like we're so connected. That's why, I pray, you pray, we pray. We just feel one with nature, there's certain things that we have on this planet that just really make us feel connected. And there's no powerful connection than the human connection, I believe. And so, like, what makes this relationship right here? Like, why do we have that? It's not because we're interested in the same stuff. You didn't even work out a year ago, or I'm not so much into tech, or film right now. So it's like, there's a lot of things we have in common, obviously, but, it's more about, I don't know, something about that guy just feels right. Or something about her, I don't know, she's great. And you just like, I just hope she comes back in to work out again. And it's like, you just see the best in people. And that's the best part because, even when you look in the mirror, through my experience with getting in the best shape that I can be and having certain standards for myself, looking in the mirror, not feeling like I made those standards happen, not feeling, worth anything really, just like, man, all I see is that. And then one day, a switch goes off, something goes off. If you just stick it out and you lie to yourself, one day you'll believe it, that you're worth it. You're worth everything. You're worth everything. I was talking to someone today, and she was just sharing a story about her son and how her son is a young guy, little kid, and he's like, basically, Mom, I love you no matter what, right? And like he loves her no matter what, and all that other stuff that we put on ourselves of he likes me, she likes me, and worry about other people liking you to a certain point. It's like, well, if they don't like you, it's whatever that reason is, and so all you can do is just give your best at that moment, whatever that is, even especially if you don't feel like it. That's when you really know you gotta, and that spirit will give you that energy too.
All right, so it sounds like your body in the shape that it's in right now isn't for anyone else. It's a personal choice, and for you, it is the highest self that you can live in right now.
That's exactly right. But when I started out, it wasn't for me. It was for just everything else, like, I don't know, you grow up, social media is very powerful. You can get lost in it, like saying to yourself, oh, I don't look like that person, or I don't look like that person, I need to look like that person. And then, you don't feel worthy, then you like, I don't want to eat that. And it's like, well, I do want to eat that. For a long time, I didn't have really good self-control when it came to food. And I didn't have the strength that I did have right now, obviously. But I do know that if you do like have a specific goal for yourself, no matter what happens over it, and I really have been working out. First time, this is the very first time I felt insecure. I was 7 or 8, and about 7 or 8, I was in my grandma's house, and there was something on TV, and I looked down, and I was like, how come I don't have abs? I really thought that. And I see my dad. My dad was this big muscle guy, and my brother, who was 8 years older than me, was always my big brother. And I thought to myself, how come I don't have that? And then the insecurity started coming. And the only outlet I found that I felt really secure and strong in was sports. And through that, I was able to learn the tools that I needed to be able to prepare me for life. And through my experience with all of that and social media and things like that, that's not even a big deal. People put a lot of big things on it for some reason. It's just all about you, because if you're feeling good about yourself, you're going to transfer that energy. If you're feeling like however you think you feel, that's what you're giving off, so thinking is so crucial. If you know that you're going to eat something that's going to turn to fat, it'll turn to fat. Doesn't matter. Like, it's going to make me fat. Like, yeah, I don't know what make you fat.
So does that mean the opposite's true? Like, you could eat a chocolate cake and know, like,
yeah,
this won't do nothing.
You eat a chocolate cake, it's like you eat a chocolate cake. You eat real clean Monday through Friday. Friday night, you have that chocolate cake before bed, and you wake up the next day, you bust a workout out first thing in the morning, and you eat real clean the next day. Yeah, so then that's not going to affect you any, because your lifestyle, the way you eat, it's not for that chocolate cake. This is the opposite. See, a lot of people eat for that chocolate cake. The key is to really work on yourself. Find what works really good for you, especially physically and with your nutrition. Because what you like to eat, what I like to eat, not gonna be the same stuff. I eat very plain, because it works for me. It's easy, it's convenient. I know how much it costs each month. It's boom, boom, boom. And so it's like no problem. But my brother, for example, Jake, he likes to, be more creative with his food. And I probably will one day too, but he likes to really take time to cook his food and make sure it tastes really good. Me, I'll just boil some veggies up or whatever and be ready to good to go. But, it's just different people have different things for themselves and different wants and desires. So you got to make sure that you find your path and your way on how you like to eat. So you don't want to eat for that cheat meal or for that piece of cake. What you do is you incorporate that into your lifestyle. Like, no, I eat this. I eat this way. And by eating this way, it helps me live more. I feel better about myself. It's just like, what does it matter? Or not what does it matter? Is that piece of cake or that pie or whatever it may be that is your weakness, chocolate, is it worth you feeling the opposite way? And so I think that if you can, and that's a battle. It can happen overnight. It can happen in an instant to where you don't have temptations, or it can be a process, and the process is, how willing are you to sacrifice for yourself long term? Because I tell you this much, when I do have a piece of cake or something like that, I enjoy it way more. Like I can really taste everything, and it's sweet. It's too sweet, So it's like, but I do enjoy myself now, Like I didn't really enjoy myself before. Like we talked about this, and that's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to really enjoy yourself. Sometimes it depends, though. So I think that fitness and my physique and my body and helping people to show people how I got my body so I can help them get their body how they want. That was what I needed for myself. I don't need like other things. A lot of people need, so for example, if you didn't finish school, then that one call in your head, man, I just wish I had a degree, or I wish I had a degree, whatever it is, it's like, well, that's that one thing then. You go get that degree even if you're like 60 years old, because you'll never feel complete. Whatever that one thing is, I believe that if you can accomplish it, it'll set you free and your perspective of the world changes. That's what I think.
All right, and do you think it's possible to, like that one thing that's just honing, is it possible to free yourself from it without the achievement of it? For instance, if I just all my life, since I was 6 years old, thought I've got to be at the top of Mount Everest. One day I've got to be at the top of Mount Everest. And there's elements with a attachment to something that brings in suffering. So like I may be suffering because Mount Everest or bust, and so is it possible to process that and go like, you know what? No, I don't need to be at Mount Everest. Like that's all right.
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at that. If you're really meant to be at Mount Everest, you'll get to Mount Everest regardless of anything that comes in your way. Or Mount Everest was the tool to get you to build the relationships you needed on that other journey.
All right.
So I think it just depends on how you look at it. For me, no matter what, I was gonna make professional. Like as an age of 8, I made a decision. Like I was gonna be in the NFL, and so my brother and I, we just grinded for years. But due to those 7 surgeries, and having to stop because I needed 2 more, that goes back to, was it really Mount Everest, or was it the journey that got me there for this path right now?
All right. So you're happy with the path you're on.
I love the path that I'm on right now.
And you could look behind you and go, you know what? I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't have that passion for NFL that was driving me through those experiences. And now I'm where I'm at now with those experiences, and that's why.
It's interesting because growing older and then having our good friend in the NFL and really like at the top of the NFL, and talking with him and hearing the things he goes through, it's like it right now. It's at a point. It's your love, it's your passion, but it's your family's on the line, your career's on the line, your money's on the line. That's what you do. So I can sit back now finally, and I wasn't able to like college or anything really to enjoy football. It was so hard for me to enjoy football because I feel like it was taken away from me, and I felt like I gave so much to it, but my intent was wrong the entire time, I think, and I was focused on not getting injured again, and not getting injured again, which I believe because I kept thinking about that, I kept getting injured, and big injuries too. It wasn't just like, I had ankle sprains, all that stuff, but like big injuries. So long story short, I just think that you just really have to listen to yourself and make sure that you're just well aware of everything that's going on around you, and that can affect the next part of your life, whatever that may be, the next day, whatever.
All right, this is a bit of a jump, but it's going back to the food, because I know, I don't know what you're doing right now today, but I know like you were vegan, for lack of a better word, like giving up meat.
Yeah.
Because you said you had meat every single day since day one, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, from my understanding, to build muscle, you need protein.
Right.
What are you finding? Are you still practicing no meat right now?
Yeah, I'm still practicing it. I don't know. I'm thinking that I'm at that stage where I'm kind of questioning things, and how I mean that is I haven't lost any muscle mass. I haven't lost any strength. In fact, I'm feeling the best I've ever felt in my entire life, and so I have not eaten any meat. And I still just kind of just stopped it. But now that goes back to when I was 14, 15 years old, educating myself on YouTube with fitness, specifically to get better at football. So I had a purpose the entire time I was learning. It was because it was going to make me the best athlete I could be. So it was efficient learning when I was learning, because I was actually a practitioner of it every single day since 14 years old, 27 right now. So 13 years of every day, and so I ate meat, and I ate for a little while. I ate like a bodybuilder, then I just wasn't really, no one really taught me how to eat. I didn't really have a guidance besides the internet, so that helped save us the overall over time. And I learned really bad eating habits, no self-control. My dad would feed us in high school and college. My dad would feed us, a big plate of spaghetti, 2 pieces of cornbread at least, a salad on the side, and sometimes he would have like a lasagna with it, or a steak. A steak. He'd have a steak, spaghetti, just like cornbread, and it would be delicious, right? And it's like almost every meal. And so me and my brother, we were just like solid, and so it was great, because my dad would just, you guys eat up. But really, it was messing with us, our psyche. You know what I mean? Because it was like coming off of that and coming off of staying away from. It was just a hard experience getting away from like eating bad foods and things like that. I did a lot of sacrificing myself even in college, but at the end of the day, it wasn't the right sacrifice, because I wasn't able to really, I wasn't able to enjoy any of the process. And long story short, I don't think that, I have no idea over if I'm eating avocados every day. I always eat veggies like every day, but now I'm having way more veggies to fill my stomach up, so I feel fuller. A lot more fruit. I have my fruits earlier in the day, so I have citrus first thing in the morning. It's like grapefruit, lemon water, whatever it is. And I think does it really make sense to, my brothers and I are real spiritual, so this is more of a spiritual thing, but does it really make sense to put energy into you if you're giving energy out? Does it really make sense to put non-living energy into you, whether that be processed foods, or do you want foods that's gonna die? So a piece of fruit that's gonna die, avocados, whatever it may be, they all die. So that's going to give you life, get energy. It's alive. So put alive food into you. So that's what I've been on lately. And now you got to understand, like, that was really hard for me, because I've always been told to lose muscle. You know, you'll, and maybe over time you probably lose some muscle mass, maybe, but at the end of the day, that's okay because I feel great. I feel my mind is clear. I have direct focused thought. I don't know. I enjoy it. You know, I can really say I had a lot of meat. I had a lot of hormones in me from the cows, from everything. You know, like I would eat steak, I would eat chicken, and the way to pump the animals up, even if you know, and then I started getting the most expensive meats that I could buy. But you know, I was like, let me back away from it and see what happens. Man, it's been feeling great so far. So I don't know if I'll stay on it, but it has feeling great so far. It's been awesome. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having meat. If I wanted to have some meat now, like I don't think that it would. I think that there's enough stuff flushed out of me, you know, from the last couple of weeks doing it, and like drinking plenty of water, and just like really being in tune with myself. And I'm delivering way more energy than what I've ever have, and that's all that matters to me. If I can deliver more energy, like that's what I need. I don't need to feel tired and droggy and fatigued, you know, the rest of the day because I'm putting stuff in me that's making me feel that way. So for me, it is a little easier because it's my profession. So that's one thing too. It's my profession, so it's easier to stay real focused. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that are in this profession that don't really stay focused on themselves. And I just feel like if you're going to lead people to their goal in fitness or whatever, like you just got to be the best example for them, whatever that is to you. But you got to be the best you. You got to deliver the best to people because you know, when it comes to working out and when it comes to paying for a trainer, like they deserve your very best. They could be paying any other person on this planet, but they decide to pay you for health and fitness. So as a person, it's like, man, the least I can do is show them the way, but actually live the way. So that was our intent the whole time. It's like, you really have to be, like, I believe to sustain, to be long-term, to be the best you can be, to do whatever you want to do, you got to be the best you can be. And it takes time and practice. And, you know, you're not going to get the results you want if you're not. That's what I've learned. As I try to, like, you know, like sometimes like I won't be in the best shape, you know, like obviously that happens and that's normal. You know?
So like what do you mean by that? Like you won't be in the best shape?
Maybe well the last time I had I ruptured my Achilles and I had surgery on it. And so the past 2.5 years I've been, you know, I'm with therapy, rehabbing it, but mentally it was really hard for me to break through that point. And so I did what I could at that time to be in the best shape that I could be and control the things that I could control, like food. So when my legs popped up on the couch and I'm up there for months and the only thing I can control is, well, actually I control two things. I control my core and my upper body and whatever leg movements I can do. I'm keeping my foot like a week after surgery. Like I got a certain thing in me where it's like I'm just always kind of going because that's just who I am. And so I own it. That's just who I am. I got this fire that's not going to stop. So anyway, a week after surgery, I started just like lifting weights downstairs in the garage. I had like, it didn't feel so good because I was on the couch all day, read a little bit, but watched TV, just bummed out, depressed, lost my job after just like being in management, they just let me go. It was hard. It was really hard. Then that door closed and this door opened, and it's been a journey so far, but it's one of those things where my brothers and I we can't stop. And having my brother every single day helps out. It's like having a marriage. It's like if you have a partner, help that partner out. You guys are partners for a reason. And so right now, Jake is my partner, he's my partner, I'm his partner. And so I'm gonna do my best I can to hold him accountable. So, like, Jake, should you really be eating that right now? You know what I mean? Like, he's like, why not? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go for it, whatever.
That's perfect, because one of the things that I love about accountability, like you're saying, I'm not telling the person to stop. Like if I saw my son drinking, you know, I think it's my responsibility to bring it up to him And there's a moment where he's got to bring his own consciousness to the choice. And if he, says, hey, F you, I'm going to keep drinking, all right. But there was a moment there of consciousness where, he had to consciously re-choose that. And if he's okay with it, then all right. And I may not, I may remain unokay with it, and that's all right too,
Yeah, I mean, how much can anyone really do? Everyone's gonna make their own choices.
Right.
I know 14-year-olds are making grown man decisions, right?
Right.
Really making real life decisions at 14, 13 years old that are going through things that grown men don't even go through.
Right.
And all you can do, because you don't know, like, people have problems all the time. Like, we do a lot of mentoring, and with a lot of boys, 12 to 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, around that age. And we coach basketball. And these kids are so special, and they just got this joy about them, and they're so innocent, and they think things are so cool, and it sucks. What sucks about it is they're influenced by a lot of these negative things, entertainment, social media, music, and their decisions are based off that. And they don't understand the work that these people put into their professions. And they're not gonna play a song. If you're an artist, they're not gonna play your song about consciousness. They're gonna play your club song. And that's what the kids hear. And so the kids think that's how the superstars live. And so what happens is the parents don't become the main influence anymore. Society does. So what that person needs to know, and this is what my mom did for me and Jake and my brother, all of us. She just trusted us. Hey, you guys going to a party tonight? We'll be back like at 11 or so, or whatever, like, is that cool? And she'd be like, yeah, no problem. If you guys need anything, just let me know. And Marcus was the same way. And having that freedom and knowing that my mom had my back no matter what, it was just, And I think that really brought me a lot. There was no like high school, like, I'm gonna just drink, I'm gonna do this. And so now when I see these kids that are 12, 13, 14 years old taking drugs, because that's what's happening. Kids are taking drugs. It's like, yeah, kids are taking drugs and kids are eating bad. And they're putting all this dead stuff in them. And you can't understand why you're not getting through to your kid. And it's like, the kids have no outlet. They're just starting off in life. You know what I mean? It's like, and so I think that I'm not a parent, but I do a lot of mentoring. And I have a nephew who I did help raise a little bit, and he's 14 now. And so he's at that age too, right now. I pick up the phone, say, Jonell, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? And you want to come over, whatever it is. And I just let him know that I'm there. Because I remember when I was 14, 15, I made my own decisions. You remember too, like, you make your own decisions. And so whether it be behind your parents' back or whatever, you're going to make your own choices.
Yeah.
And the reality is that's what it is. So your job is to just let your kid know that you got their back no matter what. You love them for who they are because they're you. They came out of you. So that comes back to doing the best that you can be, being the best you can be by leading by example, And but I'm in no position to recommend anything when it comes to raising any families or kids. But those kids, like, I had a kid overdose on like ecstasy or something. This was a 13, 14-year-old. That's how serious that kid we coach, in the hospital, overdosed. And that's how serious it is. So, how bad do you want to eat clean to be able to show, the next generation of people, because this is the first generation that's not supposed to outlive their parent. You know what I mean? That's how serious it is. And that sucks. And I'm going to do something about it, like whatever I can do. So my job is I got a greater purpose I'm working towards right now. That's what drives me. Those kids drive me. And I know humanity. I love people. I love people so much. I see the good in people. I see just like the best. For some reason, I just do. And I worked at that. I've worked at that, but I always have. Just since I've been little, just always have. And, I just believe people become aware when they're ready. Yeah.
Now you touched on social media a couple times,
Yeah.
and I've been hearing like a lot of negative connotations in there, like sort of a. However, I know that you use social media to promote and market your business, and you use it very powerfully. You use it to help people.
Yeah.
Use it as a way of communication where people can ask you questions, etc. So do you think that you have an outdated judgment about social media that's still kind of alive in you as it's a negative when you're using it so positive?
I don't. I think social media is the best thing to happen to us. I think that we can now connect to people around the world. I get so many messages and I'm able to really just help people. They have no help. And they message me at everyone else and they sit there and say no online trainers really message them back, and so they never really get help, don't know what to do, so much information. So I just give my little advice, whatever I can. So I know people are looking at me, so I believe it's my obligation. I don't know who looks at me. I just know there's certain people that interact with me around the world, and it's a trip. It's crazy, and I love that. I love that I can actually, because when I was 14, 13, educating myself on YouTube and this stuff, it was hard. It was like scary, challenging, like, man, will I ever like look like that, or will I ever do this? And so now I'm in a position where I can help people out who may not be able to afford personal trainers, that's what happened to us, or may not be able to have the right advice. And so my job is, I believe social media has allowed me to build relationships with people around the world, as well as, one thing is I guess people come to my page to be inspired and stuff, and like that fuels me, and so like it makes me give more of my energy to myself to work out so I can hopefully motivate them and get them going. So I'll go on social media all day, but social media is my job too as well. If you abuse anything, and the thing is too, is I don't stay on social media and surf. Like I'll give myself, like if I'm gonna look at social, I'll just give myself, a certain time frame, or I'm studying different platforms. What works, what doesn't work, how can I grow my following? Because if you don't have a purpose, then it goes to anything else. If you don't have a purpose for something, it can be hard to, it can be bad. Yeah, it can be like, man, there's all this stuff, and there is. But me, I'm excited for the future. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited for fitness, I'm excited for the future, and technology is a big part of that, so don't fight it, because it's not going to be able to, you can't change it. So learn your ways with that. And I'm learning my ways with it, just like food. Don't take the next 10 years to learn it. So, and it's going to be something that's no one's ever going to know, like how to learn it. People can tell you, but it just happened. It literally just happened. Even past 10 years with MySpace, 10, 12 years. Like, I don't care about, think about it, like the steel industry, for example. Mm-hmm. People know the steel industry. You know the steel industry. You can educate your social media just happened.
Right. It's still happening in a way.
I'm doing stuff that people say doesn't work. So it's like, well, that works for me. You know what I mean? Like, and then I do their stuff too, which double works. But I trust myself first, because I just go off like how I feel. Like posting something, the words that I say, they might not always be spelt right, but I got to get those words out and forget about anyone critiquing me, because before that was stopping me too, being insecure. Like, man, is it spelt right? Did I use the right punctuation? Forget that. Just like people want to hear like my thought. So the least I can do is like, they don't really care about that to a certain point. They just want to make sure they want to get the essence of it, and I'm not gonna stop myself from giving my best, and my best does count me making sure I'm on point with everything. But it's a process to juggle a lot of stuff at one time. And so it's like, it's hard and challenging, but I love it. And I know it's going to make me a greater man. And I know it's going to make me a greater businessman more than anything. Because, I just love this new world and new game that I'm in. And I'm taking advantage of all the tools that are at my fingertips.
You're really putting yourself out to the world quite powerfully with social media, etc. We all know, my son calls them trolls. People out there that are just like, the haters.
For sure.
So are you experiencing that in the world?
I don't know.
sounds like a no.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know, because even if I am, I'm not going to focus on that.
All right.
Like, I'm just saying that for people, just like, so, because that can ruin you.
Yeah.
You know, it can be hurtful. Yeah. You know, but through my experience, I think that you give back what you give out. And if your intent is to act like you're something that you're not, then yeah, you're going to get backlash. People know who's real, who keeps it real, who doesn't. You know when you go to a certain, whatever it may be, certain site, certain page, whatever it is, certain community blog, like, you know, like, oh, obviously you're not fully telling the truth about something. So I just think that you just got to be real.
In your studies of the body, have you gotten into the chakras?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so have you experienced that to be real?
I've had that goes back to just like, you know, it gets deep. It gets deep, you know, and so deep that it gets deeper than it gets deep. And so, you know, like, everything's connected and everything we do is action. It all starts with food. So you want to feel that power? Like, it definitely starts with food. Like, we're designed a certain way.
All right, let me stop right here, because I need to understand this. It sounds to me like what you're saying is the complexity and understanding of our energy and the energy of the universe starts with food.
Yep.
Wow. So in your experience, you really are what you eat.
Yep.
And your experience with food has been the focal point that your understanding of the universe has flowered out from.
Hands down. No doubt.
Wow.
Food is everything. You put something into your mouth. Like, you won't put your fingers in your mouth unless you're eating some candy or something, but, like, you know, you're putting things into your body. Like, this is real. You know, this is real. Like, you're real. You know, you only have one life. You only have one life. And so it's like, you can't waste it. Or you can. You know, but, you know, there's a lot of kids that need a lot of adults to, like you, a year ago to today, getting the best shape of your life, having abs, being a great, strong man like you are, working out every day, giving it your all in the workout, and, you know, you're eating clean, and your son and daughters coming in to work out now and doing events with us and doing events outside of the workouts. And that's a beautiful thing to me, because that's one thing about what we're doing is we're able to really build relationships and build relationships through relationships. And you guys are getting strong relationships, and there's nothing much more happier than that for me. So it goes back to food. And it's nice because I think fitness is the tool to food. It doesn't make sense to eat chemicals all the time. You know, like, they put chemicals in everything. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with food or anything like that, like, as far as eating anything bad, but you got to do what's good for you. You got to do you. You got to be what's real, what resonates with you. That's what you got to do, you know? And, you know, I will have things now and then. I'm not a perfect human being. I don't know how I'll be in 10 years or even in a week, but I'm going to take today right now and be who I am right now in this moment, because that's all I can really count on. And at this moment, that's how I feel. Today I had 3 avocados, some seaweed, and I woke up this morning, had a grapefruit, and some quinoa. That was it.
You've highlighted citrus as a morning starter. What have you found citrus does to jumpstart the day?
Citrus, it gets deep on it gets deeper than that, but citrus is really great for you. You know, you can, from a bodybuilding standpoint or like a fitness standpoint, it's good to burn body fat, obviously. First thing in the morning, citrus does real well for the body, but you're putting vitamins and minerals and sugar, and it's a carb, a grapefruit, for example, or a lemon, but you're putting life that was on a plant, you know, and like it grew from the earth, and you're putting that first thing in the morning to you. So even if you have an apple, you know, and even if you have an apple, you know, whatever it is, the fruit choice or even vegetable, I wake up and have a big bowl of broccoli too. And but that water first thing in the morning detoxifies the system, takes down the inflammation in the body, especially lemon water takes down the inflammation in the body. And that inflammation is that stuff that really just doesn't get us to, sometimes we feel puffy in our faces or our hands feel a little swollen, whatever it may be. And it really definitely helps out with that inflammation part. So it's much more, and that goes in the essence of just making you feel better. So fruit first thing in the morning is like, I don't do it every day, but I try to. But I love when I can wake up and like open a grapefruit and eat it first thing and like, man, okay, I didn't put coffee into me first thing, you know, but I have grapefruit first thing. So yeah, so citrus is really great. So more than anything, it's really great for your inflammation. It's really great to take down the inflammation in the body so you can absorb more foods and so you can take on those nutrients.
When you say it gets really deep, like if you were going to the bottom of the mind of that statement, what's the kernel, like that just a kind of just like, it's just life. At the end of the day, it's just life. So it's a living fruit. You're a living human being. Or life going into life to sustain life.
Yeah. Well, that's energy.
Right.
So the food is the energy for the body, right? So you put it in food that was grown from like where the earth. We die, we dissolve into the earth. Everything turns to dust one day. And so you're in a casket, you're disintegrating. You're gonna turn to dust one day. So while you're here, you just want to make sure that you're putting that energy that you need for the body to be able to give that energy off. So you can't really give your best self, your best energy when you don't have the right fuel to give your best, and then you won't receive the best. So you have to give the best to receive the best, and you have to keep giving. And keep giving. And that's got to be the main source. The main source is not to get the best. The main source is to give. The main source is to, that's one thing too, is it's easy for me because I don't do my body or even what I'm doing, do it for a greater purpose. I do it for my family. I do it for my brothers. I do it for my nephew. I do it for my aunts. I do it for my grandma. I do it for my uncles. I do it for everyone, my clients, especially everyone that's involved with my life, my circle, anyone that I can touch and they look to me for inspiration. This is my whole family when it comes to the fitness standpoint of where we are. And so even Jake, and he'll look to me. So instead of feeling like it's a lot of pressure, just feel like, you know what? I can do this. I got a good supporting team. I'm doing it for them. Then it takes away the pressure off you. Man, I don't want to go to the gym, or I don't want to. No, it's you're getting in shape because you're inspiring other people. So take that perspective from it. Eat clean for the kids or your family or a greater purpose. Because if you do that, then that will take care of itself. But if you don't do that, then it can be very hard and challenging and very upsetting and a lot of anxiety and stress and everything else that comes with that. So, hope that answered your question.
It did.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I don't have anything else at the moment. Is there anything more that?
Yeah. So I think that it's very encouraging. I think you're a great example of how you should be as a parent. I do, and I just know what I know.
Right.
And I know you though, and so I know it's so hard. I've never worked out with my parents, put it that way.
Right.
And my parents love me.
You are now though. Your mom's coming.
She's working out. I'm training her.
Yeah.
But it's I'm not working out. I've never worked out with my parents.
I see what you mean.
Right.
Shoulder to
big
shoulder.
difference.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know if I will get that one day, but I've never, that's important to me. I was talking to my brothers and my dad. I was like, Dad, you want to go to the gym? Because we'll go to the gym. He'll be on that weight rack, and I'll be on that one with Jake or whatever, and we never ever work out together. And I've seen this guy work out my entire life. So I give you all the praise for you doing that with your family, and I think that's just so important. And your boys and your daughters won't see it right now, maybe they do, but they really will see that down the road, especially when they understand life more and are very aware of things and how they go. So I do think that you're doing the best example, and it really makes me feel really good that, you know, you're just staying consistent and you're just fighting through anything to get to your goal, and, you know, you're doing it. So that being said, like, I'm glad we can have this interview for sure. You know, any last words that I have or anything is just making sure that people know that kids are dying. You know, this is, I'm not trying to make this, but it is, it's serious, you know? And the least I can do is kind of just, I have a voice. I have these kids right here, you know, like, one almost died, you know, and it's like, and a lot of them are just lost right now, you know, they're on their own, you know, and they don't have the best food choices because they can't see the best food choices. It doesn't, you know, it's just nice to help people. So whenever I think people can help people, just give their best and all of themselves to help other people, especially these kids, because they don't know. They're innocent. And yeah, they're innocent. Yeah. They are.
It's true. I want to give a shout out to you, because with what you're talking about, what I see at Rip Body Fitness is an environment that is open to the kids. Like, parents are bringing even their kids that aren't working out, and the kids are hanging out there, and you guys just totally, there's no thought of like, hey, this isn't the place for a little kid to be hanging out, you know? And there's, you know, I'm not the only one. There's other parents that are there working shoulder to shoulder with their kids, and you guys just provide that space, and that's huge.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
There's no question, you know, if a mom is so busy, and the least she has to worry about is finding a babysitter to watch her kid to come and work out, especially with us. Like, you know, you could bring them in. They need a chair. They want some, whatever we can give them to entertain them, like, for the moment. And you just focus on you right now, because you don't get much you time as a parent, as a mom, working with all moms for the past few years, and knowing my mom, you don't get any free time. Hardest job in the world. So the least we can do is provide a service for them so they can have their kids there.
That's cool.
Yeah, because it's all about just. And the kids see that. The kids see the mom working out, and it's like, man, that's really cool. You know, like, hopefully that sparks. There's a couple little kids that you can just see in their eyes are just like, what's going on? And who knows what's going on in their imagination? And this is all getting into their mind, seeing their mom or dad work out and busted too. Really get after the workout, sweating, feeling good. You know, seeing encouragement from everyone else. Like, they're seeing a lot of things that I don't think that we realized, and it's so special to be able to help that process out, because, yeah, you know, I just love life. I love life. I love people, you know, so it's all good.
It's all good.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
For you, not